One of the most important senses animals need for survival is a sense of smell. It helps them find food, avoid predators, and is even involved in mating behavior. It may not play as big a role for humans as it does for animals, but a problem with the olfactory senses can be dangerous. You can be in serious danger if you can't smell gas leaks or fires. You lose the joy of eating, but you also lose the ability to distinguish spoiled foods and put yourself at risk of food poisoning.
하루 종일 머리도 띵하고 요즘 만성이 돼서 잘 낫지도 않더라고요. 가깝고 미치겠어요.
Serious complications can arise if you don't treat nasal disorders. How healthy is your nose?
Every hour, every minute, and every second, breathing is an important and astounding action that we often take for granted. Will our nose play a part in this important function of ours? So today on Health for All, we'll guide you through the details on the disorders and diseases of the nose that may endanger the basic function of life.
What role does the nose play in the body? The most important function of the nose is breathing. It is the passageway for breathing, keeping us alive. When we breathe in, incoming air becomes warm and moist in the nasal cavity. The nose is like a radiator and humidifier. If the nose is unable to perform these functions, cold, dry air enters the pharynx and trachea and puts us at risk of infection. The nose also acts as an air filter. There are numerous particles in the air invisible to the naked eye that enter the nose as we breathe. These foreign substances are filtered out by small hairs and mucus so that clean air can enter the lungs. In addition, there are nerves in the olfactory region of the nose that allow us to smell. Furthermore, the nose acts as a resonator, allowing us to speak in a clear voice.
일단은 코가 하는 역할 중에 가장 중요한 역할은 냄새를 맡는 현상이라고 할 수 있죠. 그 냄새를 잘 맡게 되면은 냄새를 잘 못 맡게 될 경우에 생기는 현상은 입맛을 잃게 됩니다. 일단은 그 입맛을 잃게 돼서 환자분들이 코막힘 현상이 많이 있는 분들 중에서는 그 입맛을 잃어서 그런 것들을 호소하시는 분들이 있고요. 코가 막힘으로써 제일 불편한 거는 코막힘에 의해서 스트레스를 많이 받게 되죠. 잠을 잘 못 자게 된다든지 입 벌리고 숨을 쉬게 돼서 목이 자주 아프다든지 그런 현상들이 주로 나타나게 됩니다.
In the nose are the nasal cavity and sinuses. The septum divides the nose into left and right. The nasal cavity is the space between the nostril and septum. The sinus is linked with the nasal cavity and consists of 4 hollow spaces. There are cilia on the epithelial wall of the mucous membrane that transport trapped particles and secreted mucus to the pharynx by ciliary action. An average of 1,000 cc's of mucus is secreted per day. During allergies and colds, a much greater amount is secreted.
코 안의 점막들이 면역 반응을 일으키게 돼서 코막힘이나 아니면은 수양성 콧물이 물처럼 줄줄 흐르는 것을 얘기하는 것이고, 그다음에 재채기나 아니면은 코 간지러움증, 심한 경우에 눈 간지러움증도 호소하시는 경우가 많이 있습니다.
Because breathing is a very natural body function, we usually don't think about and focus on it. However, there are moments when we appreciate our breathing ability. It's when we have problems with our nose.
Our noses are a small part of the body, but play very important and complex roles. Let's now look at what types of nasal disorders can occur in the nose. "24-year-old college student Ma Ju-won. There is something that distracts him from his studies, and it is a stuffy nose.
평소에 코 자주 막히고요. 콧물 많이 나오고 두통도 있고 그리고 밤에 코도 골고요. 그래서 코로 숨 못 쉬니까 불편한 점이 되게 많습니다.
One of the most uncomfortable symptoms among nasal disorder patients is a stuffy nose. Why is Ma Ju-won suffering from a stuffy nose?
이게 오른쪽 코안이고 이게 왼쪽 코안이거든요. 근데 코안의 오른쪽 왼쪽으로 나눠주는 요 칸막이 뼈가 오른쪽으로 많이 휘어져 있어요. 그래서 왼쪽과 비교를 했을 때 코안의 공간이 굉장히 많이 좁아져 있는 것을 확인을 할 수가 있고요.
Looking at Mr. Ma's X-ray, we can see that the cartilage in his nose is bent. This disorder is called septal deviation. The bent cartilage makes breathing difficult by narrowing the space inside the nose. There is also a nasal disorder caused by pollen and other environmental factors. It is called allergic rhinitis.
재채기가 많이 나고요. 콧물이 흐르고 요즘 근래 심할 때는 코가 막혀서 숨 쉬는데도 지장이 있었습니다.
Some of the symptoms of allergic rhinitis are sneezing, watery discharge, and stuffy nose. Sometimes tearing and headaches can also occur.
알레르기 비염은 크게 두 가지로 통연성과 계절성으로 나옵니다. 통연성 같은 경우에는 주로 알레르기 물질이 동물성 물질인 경우가 가장 많은데, 국내 같은 경우에는 연구 결과에 따르면 진먼지 진드기에 의한 경우가 가장 많겠고, 그 외에는 강아지 털이나 고양이 털 이런 것들에 의해서 알레르기 현상이 일어나는 경우가 있습니다. 계절성으로는 꽃가루나 이런 것들에 의한 경우가 가장 많이 있겠죠. 계절성 같은 경우에는 그 원인이 되는 꽃가루가 많이 날리는 계절에 그 증상이 가장 심한 그런 모습을 보입니다.
Rhinitis occurs when the mucous membrane reacts with substances in the air and surroundings. The biggest cause of rhinitis is dust and dust mites. Office worker Mr. Kim has been experiencing chronic fatigue for the past year for no apparent reason. His shoulders are heavy with fatigue and he is unable to focus on his work. With promotions lying ahead, he is full of worries. He suspects his problem is caused by insomnia, so a test was performed to find the exact cause of his fatigue. The result, Mr. Kim sleeps for a long period of time, but the quality of sleep is very low. Breathing needs to be smooth whether you're awake or asleep, but Mr. Kim was found to breathe less air when lying down because of a narrowed airway. An insufficient amount of air reached the brain, preventing him from falling into a deep sleep. Another important cause was discovered, and it was sinusitis. Inflammation of the nasal passage, where air passes through, caused the formation of pus.
코가 막힌다든지 하는 증상은 비슷하게 나타나나 뭐 부비동염이 있는 경우에는 그런 증상보다는 그 증상 외에 뭐 누런 콧물이 나온다든지 뭐 누런 콧물이 목 뒤로 넘어간다든지 그래서 그것으로 인해서 기침을 자주 한다든지 그런 증상이 추가적으로 있을 수가 있겠습니다.
When the nose feels stuffy or runny, we often pass it off as a symptom of a cold or an allergic reaction. However, these symptoms can lead to a serious illness. So at this point, let's take a look at our Health for All checklist and also take a look at some treatment methods.
The following is a self-test checklist for nasal disorders. Pain or pressure in the face for no apparent reason. Frequent headaches. A constant stuffy nose. Nasal discharge runs down your throat. Yellow or green nasal discharge. Colds last for more than 10 days. Constant light fevers. A foul odor in your mouth or nose. And pain near your upper teeth. According to the American Academy of Otorhinolaryngology, you must be examined right away if you have at least 3 out of the 9 symptoms. In the case of allergic rhinitis, an allergy test will be done to find the problem-causing allergens. Then evasive therapy to prevent contact with allergens and antihistamines will be given as treatment. Many patients use vasoconstrictors to clear up stuffy noses, but prolonged use of these decongestions can worsen the condition.
물론 단기간 사용했을 때 큰 문제를 일으키는 것은 아닙니다. 하지만 매일매일 사용해서 3일에서 일주일 정도 이상 사용을 했을 경우에는 약물성 비염이라는 결과를 맞게 되는데요. 약물성 비염이라는 것은 점막 숙제를 장기간 사용하신 분들이 사용 이후에 점막 숙제를 뿌려도 숨을 쉴 수 없게 되고 코가 계속 막힌 상태로 유지가 된다는 것이죠. 코가 계속 막히게 되고 그 이후에 다른 약들을 써도 반응이 없게 되는 더 심한 코막힘을 호소하게 되시는 경우가 많이 있습니다. 그런 결과가 있기 때문에 점막 숙제는 단기간 사용 내지는 의사와 꼭 상의를 하신 다음에 사용하시는 것이 좋을 것으로 생각됩니다.
Not treating nasal disorders in time can lead to chronic disorders. Therefore, proper treatment is crucial. Humidification treatments bring back humidity levels in the nose, and UV treatments aid in blood circulation. Medicinal humidification treatment is also another helpful method.
알레르기 비염에 대해서 치료법은 약물 치료가 우선이 되고요. 약물 치료 적절히 조절이 되지 않는 경우에는 수술적 치료를 생각해 볼 수가 있겠습니다.
If a patient opts for surgery, the cause of disease must first be thoroughly analyzed and then the structure of the nose. The inside of the nose is so small that a nasal endoscopy needs to be performed. Also, X-rays are taken to check the amount of blockage in the nasal cavities and the degree of septal deviation. Basic preparation for surgery is finished once the exams are completed.
만성적인 대부분의 경우에는 그 항생제 치료라든지 했을 때 막 낫게 되는데요. 만성적인 경우에는 그 해부학적인 구조, 특히 뭐 물혹이 있다든지 아니면 가운데 콧살이 심하게 커져 있다든지 하는 경우에 그 안에 있는 놈이 제대로 잘 배출이 약물로서도 잘 되지 않기 때문에 그런 경우에 이제 만성적인 경과를 밟을 수가 있겠죠.
When the inside of the nose gets inflamed, both sides swell to about 3 to 4 times the normal size and makes it difficult to breathe. This can be treated with laser. If the nasal cavity is blocked up, Then accumulated pus and degenerated mucous membrane tissue are removed. If the swelling reaches the septum, then the mucous membrane is lifted up and part of the septum is excised. Thanks to nasal endoscopies, results of treatment and surgery have greatly improved.
If the nose is blocked, then we usually breathe through our mouth. However, the air that passes through our throat is not filtered, which is like drinking contaminated water. So now let us take a look at how Korean genuine medicine takes on its approach in treating nasal disorders.
In Korean genuine medicine, the nose is viewed as a passageway between outside energy and the lungs. People who have weak lungs and are sensitive to cold air are most likely to get nasal disorders. Also, symptoms of nasal disorders differ among the 4 different body types. Taeyang types, who have big heads, small hips, and developed upper bodies, are not easily afflicted with nasal disorders. Soyang types, who tend to have heavier upper bodies, release great amounts of heat from their upper bodies, causing the nose to dry out and feel stuffy. Tall and strong Taeum types have frail necks and weak and cold lungs, making them very susceptible to nasal disorders. So types, who have large hips, narrow shoulders, and heavy lower bodies, get runny noses during cold weather and tend to sneeze often. Elementary student Lee Hyun-jung suffers from rhinitis and is smaller than her peers. Her constant nose blowing keeps her distracted and suffers from lack of sleep.
코가 막히니까 머리도 아프고 공부도 잘 안 돼요.
Lee Hyun-jung is only 135 centimeters tall, even though she is 13 years old. How has her nasal disorder affected her growth?
일단 코질환이 생기게 되면 상당히 집중력이 떨어집니다. 그래서 아무리 과외를 시키고 공부하라 하더라도 애가 한 10분, 5분 있으면 책 보다가 때려친다든가 또 가만히 있지 못하고 자꾸 움직여요. 부산하다든가 또 지나치게 머리 아프다 호소하다든가 또 지나치게 권태감을 느끼고 무력해 보인다든가 이런 것들이 코질환의 대표적인 현상을 볼 수 있어요.
The first step to treating her stuffy nose is acupuncture on the face. Trapped heat is released from the face to relieve inflammation and cool air is brought in. The principle of Korean genuine medicine is to treat underlying causes of disease. The main organ of breathing is the lungs, so acupuncture is performed on corresponding pressure points to boost and revitalize the lungs. Mugwort is placed on specific areas of the skin and burned as a form of thermotherapy. Colds can also be considered as nasal disorder, so treatment is given to strengthen the immune system against infections. Mugwort has special heating properties and is used with extreme energy or fire to stimulate pressure points and energize the body.
첫째는 오장육부를 균형을 잡아주고 튼튼해준다. 두 번째는 폐기를 호흡기를 튼튼해준다.
Sponge gourd, mostly used for fever-related ailments, the root skin of Japanese elm, also called the nose tree for its excellent benefits, and magnolia flower buds, which alleviate inflammation and increase blood circulation to clear up stuffy noses, are some examples of medicinal herbs that are good for nasal disorders.
그래서 유근피라든가 또 목련꽃봉이라든가 또 수세미 이런 것들이 주로 한방에서 치료를 많이 하고 있습니다. 근데 우리 청변 요법도 있는데 이것은 코나무라든가 수세미라든가 유근피라든가 코에 좋은 그런 한 20여 가지 약재를 가면서 만든 약인데 이것이 주안점은 첫째는 면역력을 증가시켜준다. 또 두 번째는 호흡기를 강화시켜준다. 세 번째는 오장육부를 균형을 잡아준다. 또 네 번째는 어떤 좋지 않은 염증을 없애준다. 이런 방법으로서 치료하게 되면은 쉽게 재발이 되지 않고 또 애들이 머리도 맑아지면서 모든 몸이 튼튼해지면서 근본적으로 치료의 목적을 달성할 수 있다고 볼 수 있어요.
Also, acupressure helps to relieve symptoms of nasal disorders. Firmly press down between the eyebrows for about 3 seconds and then release. In the same way, press down on both sides of your nose. Since these can be done anywhere at any time, give yourself simple acupressure whenever you feel the need.
Prevent it before it comes or treat it at an early stage. I guess you can call this the #1 rule in dealing with every disease. Well, at this point, let me guide you through some lifestyle tips that will help you prevent the onset of nasal disorders.
It's a good idea to learn how to properly blow your nose in order to prevent nasal disorders. Block one side of your nose, open your mouth, and gently blow through the unblocked nostril. Rinse the inside of your nose 2 to 3 times a day with warm saline spray that's 37 degrees Celsius. This will moisten the mucous membrane and remove foreign matter in the nose. Frequently breathe in clean air, and if you are indoors for long periods of time, keep the interior well ventilated and indoor humidity levels high. Make a habit of cleaning often to prevent dust and dust mites from accumulating. Your nose can be easily irritated by cold, dry weather, so maintain a temperature of 16 to 20 degrees Celsius and humidity levels of 40 to 60%. Dust mites can accumulate in your blankets, so sterilize them by washing them in hot water and frequently dust them off and hang them in the sunlight. While sleeping, pillows higher than your shoulders can help open up nasal passageways, allowing you to breathe easier and sleep more comfortably. A breath of fresh air from Mother Nature will clear up your nose and skin for a refreshing experience. But if you have nasal disorders, green forest minus the fresh air is like a beautiful picture that you can only enjoy with your eyes. Your nose is the entrance and exit that connects you to the outside world. If you want to smell the true fragrance of life, the first thing you must do is to check the health of your nose.
It's probably the best feeling when our stuffy nose clears up. It reminds us of how lucky we are to be able to breathe through our nose. But with the tips that we have gained today, let's take good care of our health. And do join us again next week.